Okay, so I mentioned that I would try to go through some of these figures in your textbook, and that allows us to kind of go through them a little bit more digitally. If you access your e-textbook, um, you can actually do this as well. So here is our chloroplast, and this is where photosynthesis takes place, is inside of this. There are two parts to photosynthesis. The first part takes place in the thylakoid, and the second part takes place in the stroma. Now, obviously, there's a lot more thylakoid. The thylakoid is this individual green sac. The whole thing is the grana or the granum. Okay, so very first thing is that we know that H2O, light, and carbon dioxide is needed. Those are reactants in our photosynthesis process. H2O and light is used in our light-dependent reactions that take place in the thylakoid. Remember, the thylakoid is green because it is filled with chlorophyll. So along the membrane of the thylakoids, energy from photons of sunlight is used to split that water into oxygen gas, hydrogen ions, and high energy electrons. The oxygen gas is released as a waste product. So this light is used to split this water molecule up into two hydrogens that are positive. Then we have our two high energy electrons, and then our oxygen is released. Oxygen, O2, you don't usually find oxygen simply by itself. I know you see it by itself here. Remember, we're taking in 6 water. So if I put a 6 out here, that means I have 6 oxygens, which means I would have 3 oxygen, 3 O2s left. But remember, we also get oxygen from CO2 as well, which is where our other. So there we go. So in this process, we have the NADPH and the ATP that is created. The NADPH came from the NADP plus and the hydrogen plus, and then they combined to hold those really high energy electrons that are then carried over here. So the high energy electrons produced in the light dependent reactions along with the hydrogen ion are used to generate a molecule of NADPH from NADP plus. Energy produced in the light dependent reactions is transferred to a molecule of ATP. It used to be ADP. Both of these molecules are used in the light independent reactions. So these two molecules are made here. They are the energy and the protein carrier that's carrying the extra, those high energy electrons, so that they can actually be used here in the Calvin cycle. That's what this is for. Our Calvin cycle now is going to use the carbon dioxide that's coming, this NADPH, and the ATP. And the light independent reactions take place in the stroma of the chloroplast. Here, the energy from the ATP and the high energy electrons from NADPH are used to make that high energy sugar. Then the NADP plus and ADP formed in the light independent reactions are then returned back to the thylakoid membranes and re-enter that light dependent reactions. So the ATP has been split, that's phosphate has been taken off, and then ADP is taken back to the thylakoids. The oxygen, the hydrogens that were attached to here are attached now and help with that sugar. And so NADP plus goes back again to the thylakoid so that they can continue this process over and over again. Okay, so I told you we would be doing this. So here is the light-dependent reactions. Here's our light-independent reactions. Here are reactants, and here are our products. Okay, we're going to be looking at the Calvin cycle a little bit more in depth, but here is just a quick overview of photosynthesis itself.